All right, everyone, welcome. You're about to see an epic collaboration of Jared Powell, a psychotherapist from the US, and me. Jared and I shared sessions, which means I received a session guidance from him, and he received a session guidance from me. Both of these sessions were recorded live, and they're put here in full for you to see how he works with me, and then in the next video you will see how I work with him. Now, again, this is unedited. This is completely the way a session could look, or parts of a session could look. And so you get a real life insight into this work. And yeah, I'm really excited about this. I'm super grateful. Thank you, Jared, again for collaborating with me, or for asking me to collaborate. And now I wish you good entertainment. I hope a lot of insights and questions. If you have questions or comments or ideas, then please write them in the comments or in a private message. All right, so do you want to share again what you would like to address? Because maybe it's changed. Maybe it's something else now. I don't know.
Sure. Well, I was thinking of going back to the same thing. There's a part of me that that just doesn't want to earn past a certain level of income. You know, it's like it's typically just kind of on the okay edge. You know, on the barely okay edge. You know, it doesn't like to earn more than okay. You know?
Okay.
And I was thinking that the interesting thing is a lot of times I am focusing on stuff not related to things like income. I'm usually focusing on stuff, matters of the soul, matters of the heart, you know. But really, it's like there's some part of me that always wants to hold back, probably for good reasons when it comes to income. It's like, no, don't earn over a certain level. That's, you know, we're not going to do that, you know.
But so what is the reason or the intention of that part of you that says, but I do want to earn more?
When it comes to the part of me that says I do want to earn more, it almost feels like there's an area of your sort of your duty, you know, as a caregiver, as a father, to do better in this way, to do better in earning well. And and there's a part of me saying it's not bad to earn more. It's important that you bring in enough resources to expand what you can do. And then there's this other part that's saying, I don't know, man. You know, there's some stuff that I'm worried about you abandoning if you go and do that.
You abandoning what, yourself?
Yeah, like you're going to be abandoning matters of the heart. You're going to be abandoning like there's some sort of you're going to get preoccupied with all of the burdens and all of the troubles of wealth and income and maintaining it, and you're going to miss out on all of us here who are just who are crying for things and who need things.
I think this is not true. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think this is just like, this is the story that whatever comes up. I'm wondering, how do you think you would feel if you were that caregiver already? If we're in the space where you now feel, oh, but this conflict, this like, oh, but I want to earn more, but somehow this part of me doesn't want to earn more, and I don't know why, and there's A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z reasons. Like, what do you think would be there instead if that wasn't there?
If the part that wanted to earn more wasn't there?
If this whole conflict situation, this mind chatter wasn't there, if you were already that caregiver and that...
I would probably drop I'd probably drop a lot of what I identify with. I probably wouldn't be recognizable to, it's like I probably wouldn't care about as some of the things that I really care about right now.
Really?
If that
Like what?
conflict wasn't there. Like for me, I really care about my profession. That's a real big deal to me. And I probably wouldn't care about, I'd care about you know, the stuff that really matters to me in my profession. I probably just wouldn't care about the profession itself. I wouldn't care about my professional reputation, and that kind of thing.
So this isn't about earning money. This is about you thinking you wouldn't care about the profession. You wouldn't be doing what you're doing.
Maybe, when you bring the question up, like, what if this conflict wasn't there? This superficial sort of mind chatter conflict.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wonder, Friederike, if there's a part of me that I've split off enough that I simply am not engaging with it and not feeling it, like not noticing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's because a lot of times I don't feel the deep conflict. It's like I just know that I don't earn past a certain level. I don't earn past just like doing okay at best.
Right. We're gonna do the channeling, like don't worry. But it's kind of interesting because for a moment I would invite you to think of yourself as like a whole being. And none of it, like, I know we're so used to thinking, we are these like 25,000 parts. But for a moment, if you can allow yourself to think of yourself as this whole being, and you just said, okay, if I don't have this mind chatter, then I probably wouldn't care so much about my profession. But what else? Why? What would you be feeling? What would you care about instead?
I would be whole. I would I'd feel connected to a deeper source. And I would be wanting to reach out to others to help them both feel their wholeness and also feel that they have room to create in their own way, to feel both their separateness, so that they need to maintain for their creative purposes, and to feel their wholeness and their connectedness. Really, as we speak of it, I can feel that. Because there is this deeper sort of spiritual reality that I hardly understand.
But this is beautiful, though.
It is, and there's no point in dropping that or denying it. It's almost, it seems on a feeling level like what I really need it ultimately is to connect more fully and regularly with that, a connection to a deeper source, a connection to this part of me that already knows that it's whole.
Now, is there a necessity for me to channel any part of you?
Perhaps not a necessity, maybe a longing. It's like some part of me that sort of has wanted to create this separate, I don't know, dark part, part that I don't understand, that I don't see, and it's like, would it even be valuable for you to channel that part and speak for it? I don't know, to give it a voice. I don't know.
A part of you that is darkness, or a part of you that created darkness? I'm not sure I'm following you right.
Part of me that's just sort of that I've created, that's hidden in the darkness. It's like it's hidden, like I can't see it. Like I almost want to give it more of a life and more of a voice.
Hmm. But you know it's there. How do you know it's there?
There's a physical sort of directional sense that it's there, that there's this part. And honestly, if I were to just, since I don't fully understand what's going on, it's like there's this piece. If I were to imagine where it is in space, it would be somewhere over to my right, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of out there. Like it's just sitting out there and it can't be seen. Like it's just sitting somewhere out there. And it's like part of me wants to talk to it, but it's almost like, I don't know, it's like the message is, hey, you haven't heard me, you know, and there's like no pressure to start now. But it's like there's this part of me that's just kind of sitting out there like, yeah, you haven't heard me.
So I would give a voice to that part of you that you haven't heard.
Yep. At least that's what I'm proposing.
Okay.
And if I were to describe, I mean, I don't know if it's of any value to describe the images that come to mind, because really on a content level, I don't know, it kind of seems like a lot of times if I have an image in my mind, it's speaking to a feeling rather than just the thing I'm seeing. But it's like some little dude that doesn't have a body that's sitting out there, or he does either doesn't have a body or just doesn't have a cognizable body. He's just kind of this form, and he's sitting there in, like, I don't know, like a farm scene or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of sitting out there, hanging out by the barn, not doing anything. It's nighttime in his world. There's it's peaceful and calm, but he's hidden. He's dark.
Is he dark or is it dark around him?
He's dark. There's night around him, but he's darker than the night. He's
Mm.
a form that can't even be seen. Like he's it's like this blackness that's hidden. Not that there's anything evil or wrong about him. It's just he's like it's like his existence precludes my notice. Like it's so much so that it's noticeable.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to share my feeling. My feeling is that what you are actually resisting is to feel your own wholeness.
Like if I feel my wholeness, I'm going to be giving something up.
Hmm. Okay, now I can feel the urge to channel something. I don't know what exactly. Can I tell you what I'm feeling?
Please do.
I feel like and I've heard of you, that feels incredibly okay.
That's cool. If you're willing to speak to for this part, I'm all for it because I like that idea.
Okay, if you allow me to, I will channel that part of your consciousness that actually feels okay and whole.
All right, it kind of feels. I would say, yeah. I give permission to that part of me to speak through you, and I give you permission uh, to speak for that part.
With my own free will, I take that part of Jared's consciousness that feels okay and whole.
And with my free will, I take the part of me that feels something else than wholeness, that needs to hear from the wholeness. It's almost like I have to let myself be open to the part that needs to hear from wholeness. And there's this strange anxiety that rises within me, and I'm really glad to welcome it. It's almost like I needed to let somebody else hold the wholeness so that I could feel the sad and anxious parts. And it's kind of delightful to let them in. There's a lot of times, like we talked about my profession, where in my profession I need to set aside the sad and anxious to make room for somebody else's feelings. And it works. They rise strong and I rise with them. But there's these parts of me that perhaps don't get reached and met.
So when I speak, I'm just saying I'm going to speak as this part of you, okay?
Please do. Thank you for showing up.
I've been there all along. I just kind of want to reach out to you, but I don't know, you're kind of busy doing other things, or like, why do you need to make room for all that you're feeling now when I'm here? I'm here.
I feel so compelled to feel other things, you know, and
Why don't you let me do that for you?
I guess I don't always know how. I don't always know how. It's like I've somehow bought into this idea that I have to believe that there's a balance of badness in the world. Perhaps I feel some survivor guilt, witnessing a lot of other people's what they've dealt with, and I feel like I'm abandoning them, perhaps, if I recognize you. But I appreciate that you're showing up and talking with me right now.
This
And I'm
makes me
sorry that
sad as well.
yeah, you know, I'm sorry that I forgot that you were there. That you
Don't
were
be sorry.
Yeah.
I want to hold you. I want to take care of you.
I want to feel that. I think there's times when I've noticed that you've taken care of me. But it's definitely not all the time. I think I've denied you way too often.
I'm wondering, did you feel like when you connect with me, you have to abandon others? Or you're doing something wrong?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I'm not exactly sure why I would do that, but and I don't feel compelled to explore why, but I feel like I kind of do feel like I'm abandoning others if I let myself really let you take care of me, or let you show up in your wholeness, you know.
Well, maybe I made you feel this way.
Well, if so, I appreciate it. I mean, I just want to say that I appreciate the contrast, like you being able to.
I don't understand the contrast thing, to be honest with you. Like, as soon as I started being here, you went into contrast. And now you're talking about contrast again. It's not that I don't see colors. I see colors. But there's still harmony that I see.
So you see harmony in all these other things.
Mm-hmm. It's like when you say the word contrast, it feels harsh in a way. Like it feels like black, white.
Like I'm doing violence.
And I'm sorry I made you feel that. I'm capable of seeing contrast in your words, but it's still harmony. I keep hearing harmony.
I want to be able to understand it the way that you understand it, how that there really is harmony in all these things. I think that that's something that I really long for, is to find the harmony in all of it. And it seems that you have an understanding of that, that I want to be more open to. I want to experience what you have been waiting to help me experience with that.
I'm kind of scared of the contrast thing. But yeah.
Maybe that's why I've been so focused on it. I mean, anything that feels threatening or scary, it's almost like I immediately will orient toward it. I still remember being in a Zumba class, actually, a while back before COVID, you know, and there was this fellow who would shout really loud for certain things, and I remember every time he would shout during the the little vocalizations people would do, um, I would immediately orient to him, because it's like I'm used to it. When I hear stuff like that, it's like, okay, time to, like in a psych hospital, you run out and de-escalate, and be with the person, and it's like, and it kept really distracting me, and so I just kind of moved to the opposite end of the room, because I was just like, I don't want to have to keep orienting. This is my time to get healthy and to exercise. But it's like I focused on the threat. I would immediately focus on it, like it's time to act, it's time to de-escalate, it's time to figure out if this is a threat and to do something about it or not, you know? And so that was just like, I think that I keep focusing on this contrast, whereas there's this wholeness that if I were able to turn my focus into it, I would be able to see that even when I have to act, there's harmony. That I can come at it, that I'm not abandoning anybody or doing harm by bringing my wholeness unapologetically wherever I go. It's almost like I felt like I've had to apologize for you, whereas everybody has you. And if anything, it's probably would do me and them right if I were to find the wholeness in them without invalidating whatever else they're feeling, to just believe in their wholeness more fully. Like, I don't think I've fully believed in you. It's like anything that gives me cause or invitation to doubt, I quick accept those invitations to doubt. And I don't know, conceptually, I'm thinking, yeah, I accept these invitations to doubt, but on a feeling level, how do I fully embrace you? How do I fully...
You fully embrace your heart.
Okay, tell me more about that. I want to hear your thoughts on that so I can consider this and feel it.
There's not so much to listen to. Can you feel the warmth in your heart space? In your heart center?
Yeah. It's behind other stuff, but it's there.
Can you allow me in? Because I really want to kind of come back to you.
Yeah.
So I'm speaking as Friederike. I feel like this really wants to flow into your heart. I can really feel my heart space so much. And I want to invite you to just focus on that heart space. You can also touch it if you want. I'll let that float over to you. And as this is happening, I'm going to start doing some intuitive singing. And you can just let it happen, whatever that does to your system.
Yeah, do that.
Oh. Just allow yourself to stay there for a moment, and whatever you're feeling, to just let it be there and allow that sensation of wholeness. Maybe there's something new that you're feeling now to really enter your system. And if you like, you can take, like I call it, an emotional photograph of this feeling and this sensation, this signature in your system and your being. And it can penetrate every little cell from your heart through your whole body and radiate outward. And take as much time there as you want.
I feel really open to the idea that I don't need to resist limitations or what I perceive as limitations.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
it's like,
beautiful.
yeah,
Mhm.
accepting like the limitations, like fully choosing not to hate them,
Mm-hmm.
even if I'm gonna be adjusting things, like even if I'm gonna change things that seem like total limitations, just doing it without so much resistance
Mm.
and not being
Mm-hmm.
so afraid of the fact that there will be new limitations. It's almost like the limitations are a real important part of it all. And
That's so beautiful. I love it. Yeah.
I mean, part of me is thinking, like, what would it be like to see limitations and as something just like not to be afraid of, to fearlessly look at them and to almost be like, oh yeah, that's what they are,
Mm-hmm.
before going around trying to move them,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to trying to move them right away, which I think is my tendency.
Yeah.
How do we get around this? How do we move
Yep.
it? It's like, yeah, it's like I'm missing out on actually what they are, and helping others embrace them too. It's like to fully experience, because I don't fully experience them before trying to move them.
Yeah. And that's what I feel like, life is often messy, but there's like juice in this messiness, there's aliveness in that. And
There's juice and messiness and aliveness in it. I like it.
it's like we can't get around this stuff coming up and happening, and it's life, and we are so, as like trained practitioners, facilitators of so many modalities, where I feel like it's like it's our blind spot that we're so aware that we sometimes forget to actually really feel through the whole thing and like be alive in it, like that's the beauty of it.
It's the beauty of it, and being able to accept the beauty of it, the juice in the in those messy limitations. And yeah, I think that being able to speak to a part of me that's whole, it's like, yeah, the wholeness part of me doesn't see limitations as a bad thing. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like embracing just whatever's real. And a lot of times our limitations are perceived and not real, whereas the whole part of me just is ready to embrace whatever is real.
Exactly. Yeah. And like we're still, and we all know on an intellectual level, but to actually feel like, despite all those parts and wounds and whatever, I'm still whole. You know, I'm still whole.
Well, thank you, Friederike. That was quite an experience.
You're so welcome. Thank you for your trust. Going on the journey with me.